Hi, I am Stephanie J. Block.
And I'm Mary Lee Fairbanks.
Welcome to Season 5 of Stages Podcast,
where we go behind the scenes and beyond the resume.
Join us as we talk to some of the greatest talents from theater, TV, film, and more. And then check out stagespodcast.net for past episodes, merch, and so much more.
And love where you are now. Hi, listeners. We hope you're enjoying Season 5. Did you know that when you press the follow button, it really matters on social media platforms and on the podcast platforms? So why don't you take a second and go ahead and press that follow button wherever you're listening, on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Just press the follow button. And if you feel like it, you're feeling generous, leave us 5 stars in a review. It really helps us grow more than you know. Thanks so much for listening to Stages Podcast. There is so much to discover every day at the Museum of Broadway. Come explore 3 floors of dazzling costumes and props from your all-time favorite shows like Hamilton, The Phantom of the Opera, Rent, Wicked, and many more. It's the only place that you can get up close with Broadway's history from 1732 to the present day and learn how a show is made from Broadway's biggest icons. It's perfect for all ages. The Museum of Broadway is a front row seat and a backstage pass all in one. Visit themuseumofbroadway.com for tickets today.
I'm in the O&M offices right now.
This is very, very colorful.
That looks awesome.
Have you been in here before?
I feel like I should remember if I had. I feel like I should have. Like,
well, your
how did my
picture's in the
life go?
bathroom.
Well,
so.
then yes, I'm
Yeah.
saying yes. Is
Yeah, does it say for a good time call and her number
No.
under it, or
It's a picture of you holding a Tony Award, and you're like,
oh,
yeah.
and like you have to aim. Do you have to aim to hit the award and win the prize?
yeah, exactly.
This year's Broadway season is wonderfully eclectic. Many shows aren't based on a novel or a movie or any source material that average theater goers may know of, and that has made for some really exciting productions. Today's guest is the star of one of those really exciting and unexpected shows, DEAD Outlaw. In this, I'm going to use my own words, bluegrass/rock, sepia-toned, gun-toting, in-your-face, highly entertaining, and humanizing show, Andrew Durand embodies the said dead outlaw, Elmer McCurdy. He portrays him in life and in his death. It is a riveting performance to watch Andrew capture Elmer's want, searching, anger, failure, hurt, desperation as a living being, and then capture the audience's heart, curiosity, and own mortality in the stillness of Elmer's death. It's really quite remarkable. Andrew Durand's Broadway credits are impressive and varied: Shucked, Inc., Head Over Heels, War Horse, and Spring Awakening. And the theater community has known his name and his great talent for quite a while. But I am thrilled that this piece, Dead Outlaw, is the vehicle that has so many people talking and bringing a lot of life. That's right, people. That pun is intended. It's bringing a lot of life to his already bright career. Please welcome to the podcast, Andrew Durand. Andrew Durand, to stage, please. Andrew, come to stage.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, that was so lovely. Thank you so much.
I
We
know
loved
how
it.
busy you are doing all the press and doing all the Tony stuff, but I saw yesterday that they are sticking you in your coffin, like down in the subway
Oh
and
my God.
standing in Central Park. And I thought, that's just genius. People walking by going, what the hell is
Yeah, what is
happening?
that?
What
Yeah.
is that?
What
Oh,
what
genius
is that
marketing.
experience alike? And then being taken out of, for those that haven't seen it, a really quick recap. Half of Andrew's show is playing Elmer in life, and then the other half, without any sort of spoilers, he's standing in a coffin, like complete stillness, and that's for like 45 minutes. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
With eyes
So
open.
it's And it's one thing to be in the darkness of a theater and an environment that you're used to. And
Mhm.
now they're touting your ass out into the public in subways and Central Park. How are
Yes.
you handling that?
Dogs out as well, as people were commenting,
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
barefoot
gosh.
in the subway. But
Yeah.
look, I mean, it was a lot more low key than I think it came across on social media. Like there were dressers there. They had not only my shoes but a bag of snacks. There
Okay,
were
good. Yeah, good.
goldfish, all these kind of things. But it was a really fun, New York style thing. Like we didn't put up a sign, we didn't tell anybody what it was about, we just, no explanation, stuck me in a coffin
And you're
in the
just in the
subway.
middle of strawberry
Hilarious.
fields in Central Park, and people
Yep.
are like, well, this New York is New Yorkin'. New York is
Yes, and
really,
wild things happen. Like somebody, Jeb Brown, who's in the cast, one of
yeah.
his friends
That's
sent
him.
him a video of me in the subway because they just happened to walk by. And then when we were in Central Park, there was a man who was giving a tour to some, foreigners through the park, and he walked by me and he was like, "Oh, that reminds me of a story," and starts to tell these tourists the plot of our show. And we're like,
No.
and
What?
he didn't even know about our show, but just like seeing me standing in that coffin, he was like, "That reminds me of a tale." And
That's
Well,
we
crazy.
chased him down. We were like, that's our
yeah.
Broadway show.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
Come see
Captain
God.
it.
Obvious, you're actually telling the plot of the play. I'm in. Talk to
Well,
us about stillness. As actors, that's not usually something we are tasked with. But to know that half of your show is truly based in wanting the audience to completely believe that you are a cadaver and you
Hmm.
are aging with time and life is passing before you. And how does one train themselves to be still when our bodies want to blink, our bodies want to twitch and itch and cough? And how did you begin to even go into that state of meditation like that?
I Well, it starts with David Cromer. When we did our very first workshop, he came up to me and he said, if this thing happens, I think I'm gonna have to have you standing there in the coffin. I could make a dummy version of you and you could go sit in your dressing room for half the show, but I think having the actor there will constantly remind people of this guy's humanity, of
Yeah.
Yeah.
what was being done with his body. And it does work because I'm literally looking straight out at the audience, so I can see, as these scenes are unfolding with these people sort of buying and selling his corpse for their own profit. I see the audience always looking at me and checking
Mhm.
back in with like, what's going on with this guy? Or the section of the show where we have the young girl who sort of grows up with him living in her house,
Mhm.
but she confides in him. To have that, the actor be in there as opposed to a dummy, I think is very moving. Even though now that we're in a slightly bigger house, I have people at the stage door sometimes saying, "Well, for the first 20 minutes, I thought you were fake," um,
Wow.
which is
I guess a
yes, a
compliment.
great compliment. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of a newfound skill. I mean, I joke that I've been practicing zoning out since I was a kid. But it's yeah, it's very difficult. I think the hardest part about it is that the first half of the show is so active. Like,
Yeah.
I sing six numbers, I'm ripping the stage apart, like all over the place.
You're
And then
climbing and jumping, and I mean, you're
yes,
everywhere. Yeah.
yeah, and then I just have like a quick moment. I have long enough to run across the back of the stage, take my shoes off, quick sip of water, deep breath, and then I get on that coroner's table and I'm out there and then still. So it's a new journey each night. I always say it starts with the eyes. If my eyes are cooperating, then it's really easy on the rest of my body. And what I mean by that is that if I drank enough water and got enough rest, then I can easily keep my eyes open.
Mm,
And
mm.
I keep them open long enough for another actor to pass in front of me, or when the coffin gets moved, I just or using stagecraft. If a character makes a new entrance stage right and I'm all the way stage left, I can safely assume most people are looking over there, so I can swallow. Or I've just found my little tricks along the way. But if the eyes are not cooperating and I'm trying so hard to not blink, then the rest of my body builds all this tension that is difficult to deal with.
Mm.
So I'm constantly just like scanning head to toe, like what can I rest? Where am I holding tension that I don't need to? Or if there's a face itch, things like that,
Yeah.
I'll say, all right, well, the letter M. Let me start saying words that start with the letter M in my
Oh,
head.
wow.
And eventually I forget why I was doing that and the game stops, and then a new game starts, like the part where they put me in the closet for 20 years, I think is
Yeah.
about 45 seconds of just a pin spot on my face.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part because there's nothing else to look at on
No,
stage.
I know.
So
It's
that part,
so
sometimes
wild.
I'm like, I go back to, I sing Itsy Bitsy Spider or Row, Row, Row Your Boat in my head just over and over again to distract myself.
That precise moment that you're talking about, where everything else is dark and there's just a pin spot, it feels like a social experiment. Like
Mhm.
we in the audience are, I'm sure every night is slightly different, but there's
Absolutely.
the silence going, what's next? Then there's uncomfortable laughter. It's usually two or
Yeah.
three people that are peppered throughout, right?
Mhm.
And then we laugh because they're laughing. And then
Yeah.
you feel like irreverent for what you're doing. And then it becomes wildly uncomfortable, almost like there's a pit in your belly.
Mhm.
Is the timing different every night, or does stage management stick to like 45 flat seconds? That's what we're
It,
giving it.
Yeah, it's a set time. It is a
It is a
set
set
time. It
time.
it, it used to be shorter, but Cromer, our director, he wanted to make it a little longer to see if we could get, yeah, those laughs to die
Yeah.
down and for everybody to just sit there sort of and be like, wow, this is a person.
Yes.
I what you're saying is what I love about our show is there are so many moments throughout the show where like something happens and initially you laugh and then you catch yourself and you're like, wait, should
Yeah.
I be
Yeah.
laughing
Yeah.
at that? Like,
Yeah.
it's such a I think like our New York Times quote outside kind of got it right where they said it's the surprise feel good show of the season.
Right.
Because it is kind of like absurdly hilarious, but then,
Yes.
it all has a deeper meaning that you can walk away with.
Yeah.
But that's set up right from the top. Because right at the top, you're singing that beautiful ballad about the stars, and you're lying down, and your voice is beautiful, and it's just the lyrics are lovely. And then you just sit up and you're like, all right, let's go rob this effing bank. And you go, oh, okay, okay. I get what I'm in for here. And
Right.
Yeah.
it's that same kind of humor, like the pin spot on your face when you're in a closet, or you standing in Central Park in a coffin. It's this kind of irreverent, um, quirky, kind of wrong humor, but it works and it's fun, like the whole show. And your co-star, Jeb.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jim
he's such a
Brown.
rock. Who
Wow.
knew he was
When
that cool? I did not know the man was that cool. Obviously,
Yeah.
I
he knew
mean,
he was
but
that
I
cool.
thought this is a dude with like a band. This is like his band. And then you see,
Yeah.
no, no, he's an actual actor because you can then he steps out and he's really an incredible actor. And it's just the whole vibe of it is so unique
Uh-huh.
and
Mhm.
so funny and so original. And I just kept thinking, who thought this was a good idea for a
David
musical? Like,
Yazbek. David
Yeah.
what are
freaking
you
Yazbek.
thinking that we're going to take this tale of a dead body that some guy from the $6 million man found in an amusement park? Like, who
Mhm.
thought, let's put this to music because that'll work. So when you read the script, did you see all that humor jump off the page, or were you like, this is bizarre and weird, and I don't know if this is going to work?
I mean, what you just mentioned, that beautiful song, and then the "Let's go rob that effing train" line. That is the first page of the script. That's all that fits on it. So when I first saw the script, it was, yeah, all these beautiful lyrics about nature and longing and the type of thing that a cowboy would sing around a campfire with all of his friends. And then at the bottom of the line, the only page was "Let's go rob that effing train." And right away I was like, well, this is cool. And it's just like the everything we're talking about, like you're laughing at him in the closet and then you stop laughing, but throughout the whole show there's this sort of clashing of like,
Yes.
clashing of styles in a way, or of feelings and vibes. And I just think that makes the show, it puts you on the edge of your seat. You're always just like, wow, what's going to happen next? And it's all true as
And
well.
it's all true. That's the amazing thing. I also think it is such a commentary, whether this was intentional or not. But what was going through my head is the ability to pick out what is truly human, right? So we've got so many things that are online and AI, and we've been desensitized
Hmm.
because little by little we've been stripped of more and more human interaction with all of this new stuff that's taken over. And throughout the whole play, I had to keep realigning myself and going, oh my God, this, yes, he's an anti-hero, right? He did a lot of
Hmm.
things in his life that we shouldn't be celebrating or I
Yeah.
wouldn't condone. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he is somebody's son. He is somebody's lover. He is
Hmm.
a person.
Yeah.
And that could be me. And I mean, his existence in this world, his corpse had more interaction with people and saw more of the world and did more things than he ever did in
Hmm.
life. And
Yeah.
that sort of dichotomy also kept slapping me across the face, going, what does life, guys, these are big questions that this one
Yeah.
act musical can like
Yeah.
hit you right in the gut. But what does life mean?
Yeah.
And we're all going to the same, all we're doing is walking through this life to end up in the exact same place. I think
And
even
what
at
do
the
we
end,
leave behind? What are we
and what do,
remembered for? All the things that we're striving for. Why are we
yeah,
striving?
but
We're
it
going to
doesn't
end up in a
matter if you're
closet,
Ariana Grande or the no-named person. We're all going
Right.
toward death. This
Yes.
is big stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's questions of like, well, what is the meaning of life? What
Right.
is, is it contentment or is it chasing notoriety or a
Mm,
legacy? You know what I mean? Like he, Elmer one of my favorite parts of the show is Iola when he settles down for a few years and he gets
And
sober and he finds a girl and he gets a job and you're
you're
like,
so rooting
that's
for him.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
That's when the hero of the anti-hero comes out. You're like,
Yeah.
here's the grain of humanity in this character that we fall in love with and we root for. Um, and there's so many people in the world like that. So many people struggle with addiction and sort of like how, chasing off their demons. Yeah,
Self-sabotage.
he's sort of like in that moment he's at a crossroads and he could choose contentment and a good life and like you don't have to leave behind a big legacy. You can live in the small town with the girl, raise a family, and and or chase the notoriety.
Hmm.
What does it matter to have a legacy or not, or is it more about just like enjoying the moment that we are given to be alive?
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's now pose that question to you. Does it matter to you if you have a legacy or not?
um I guess like if that is a product of me chasing the things that make me happy, then then I'm fine with that. I think that those things in my life just happen to go hand in hand. Like I love being an artist. I love theater. I love theater people, and I'm living my passion. And if that ends up leaving me a bit of a legacy, then that's great. But then I also like my little sister. She lives in North Georgia still, where I'm from. She married her high school sweetheart, and she has 3 kids, and that is her happiness and passion and legacy, and that's cool too. It's just, I think as long as you are living your truth, then it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think
Mm-hmm.
it circles back to comparison is the thief of joy, right? We've said that a lot on the
Mm,
if you're going to start comparing the things that bring you joy and may leave a legacy behind compared to what someone else is doing, that's when things start to get really muddled. Like you have to just worry about what you're doing and why. What are your
Mm,
intentions behind
mm,
what you're
sure.
doing? The other thing I wanted to go back to was so this show is something that only theater could do. You
mm.
couldn't do this not in the same way and not as effectively through a TV show or a film. You just couldn't because it's the humanness of you standing in that coffin and the
Mm,
humanness of the story that it's what you're saying, Steph. It's being there and feeling the humanness of what theater can do. And that's what made the show really, really work, I think. It makes
mhm.
you remember your humanity throughout the entire thing from the very top.
And we will be right back.
You spoke about your co-star, Julia. Tell me a little bit about her. She plays so many different roles. She's so like There's something so sparkly about her. I mean, she's grounded and she's earthy, but it's like her light continues like another 3 feet off her body.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, she has quite an aura.
has she been with the project from the beginning?
She has, yeah, yeah, she's been there from the very beginning. And speaking of Julia and Jeb and everyone else in the show for that matter, eight cast members, but all people who are pretty much veterans. We've all
Yeah.
been doing this for years and years. But what's so cool about this show is it feels like we are having a collective ultimate moment in our careers. It's like we all are having a moment, and
Yeah.
we love the show. We love each other. Um, it's just like it's one of the best company vibes I've ever experienced.
It shows.
Yeah, and
It
yeah,
does show.
she's great. I mean, she plays the only female point of view in the show.
God bless
Um,
her. That's a lot of man energy up on that
it
stage.
is,
God
I
bless her.
know, and she she deals with it really
Gun-toting,
well.
whiskey drinking man energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she likes it a little bit too. It's really fun. She's such a great energy to have with us. And she embodies what the show is about and the way that we were directed, which is really like, in a musical, quite often we're asked to sort of add more. Can we make it shinier? Can you make it funnier? Can you, do a bit more of a bit here? And this show, under Cromer's direction and the Edomar's great writing and everything is sort of stripped down. It's like, no,
Mhm.
we're simply just telling a true story here. It's one long run-on sentence. And so how can we just like pass the baton, and you are interesting enough just standing there delivering the material. You don't have to add anything extra onto it because the story is interesting and you are interesting performers. So like just stay grounded in that. And I
Which
think,
is a big shift from Shucked, which was your
yes,
last Broadway show, which was over the top and totally silly and bigger the
Oh.
better.
Also a
yes,
political underbelly, right? It
Yeah.
had some social statements as well.
Hmm.
Very
yeah.
punny, very punny, had lots of puns. Do you feel like your Southern roots are coming through? How does your Georgia like come through when you are going out there for Shucked and for this and
Yeah. And I mean, Robert Bridegroom, I
exactly.
did, yeah, I mean, it's funny because, I did grow up in Georgia, but I grew up in sort of rural Atlanta, which is very eclectic and not,
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely was around and had a lot of friends and family friends who were, much more real Southern people than my family was. But yeah, I guess I have a knack for it. I really like most characters that are written in plays and musicals that are Southern happen to be like pretty earthy as well, just kind of like feet on the ground, sort of like playing from your crotch. I
Hmm.
like those kind of characters. I just like they feel very real to me and I feel like I'm more of a physical actor than cerebral, and I feel like I can just kind of, I don't know, drop into them a lot easier. I just gotta like bend my knees a little bit and there I am
Hmm.
in
Like absorb
character.
the ground and now you've arrived.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you grow up in a super religious family down the South?
I mean, somewhat. My family, I come from a very musical family. My dad plays guitar and sings. My mom sang in church. We were a member of a sort of non-denominational or Christian or Baptist Southern church, and my family provided the music. The worship team is what you call it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we did a lot of that off and on, and then when I was like 10 years old, my sister did a show at the local community theater. She was doing The Miracle Worker, and she got to leave school to go do plays because schools were reading The Miracle Worker. So it was part of a school trip. You go to the theater and sit. And so I heard Mary's getting out of school to go just be in a
I'm
play. And I was like,
in.
well, yeah, I want to
How
do
do
that.
I do that?
Yeah. So I went and auditioned for my first show when I was about 10 years old at the Roswell Village Playhouse, our local theater. And I fell in love. I loved it. I was like, wow, look at this. All these like adults and kids up on stage playing pretend together. It was just such a good energy. And I was like, I want to do this. So I did that until, I was about 14. And then one day going to church, I said to my mom, I was like, I don't think I want to go to church anymore. I like theater.
Mm.
And she was like, all right, that's okay. You can do that instead.
Mm.
Um,
Great.
which was so nice. And like, because I thought, I mean, no shade to religion and all that kind of thing, but what I was feeling, my experience was that these theater people were actually behaving the way a church says you should behave.
Mm.
Here were the people that were accepting you as you are.
Yeah.
And it was like
Lifting each other up,
collaborative.
supporting each other. Yeah, for
Yeah. There was
sure.
no sort of like, secret judgmental talks behind people's backs, stuff like that. It just felt like a real community. And so yeah, I switched over into doing that. And then eventually, like my mom and dad, my sister, we all were in plays together. We would do like a Christmas Carol at that theater, and there would be 70 people in the cast. Because if your kid was cast as a Cratchit, then moms and dads were all in the group scenes and stuff. It's like a real
That's so
family
sweet.
affair.
I
Yeah.
heard you telling a story about a play you did very early on at that theater where you wanted to do arsenic and old lace because you got to play all the different corpses. So is this like a
Oh
through
my
line for
gosh,
you, the
it's
corpse thing?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it was me and my friend Chris Skinner. We were both like 15 years old, skinny little kids, and they were like, "Well, we do have to carry these corpses all around. Part of the show is like hiding all these bodies." So, my friend Jeffrey, who is maybe like 20 years older than us, but treated us like we belonged there and we were equals. He taught us how to do old man makeup, and
Yes, he
I went and bought a
did.
Ben Nye kit, and I was just doing my old man makeup. I loved it. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
O&M, that's a good take. Like famous corpses in musical theater. Isn't there one in like Oliver and then Sweeney Todd? I'm sure there's a whole crap load down at the bottom of Mrs. Lovett's pie
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah, and then there's one where the Lucky Stiff, yeah,
Lucky
Oh yeah,
Stiff,
Lucky
that's
Stiff.
right. Oh,
That's right.
that's a
That's one of
funny
my favorite
score.
shows. Oh my
That's a
God, I
he
love
great
got
that
he gets
score.
to sit down though.
show.
You're right. The
That's
But
easy.
cheese.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was asking about religion because I'm wondering about, the meditative process that you have to undertake to be in that coffin. And I was wondering, do you practice meditation off the stage? Had you before? Because it's not easy to go inward and be still. And I wondered if it was something you had practice with and you've been working
Mm.
with before.
Yeah, I mean, I myself, like a lot of actors, I feel like can get pretty anxious because we deal with the unknown a lot, and so yes, in my life I have practiced meditation off and on, just nothing extreme, just 10 minutes of trying to breathe and just focus on your body. And I feel like that brings you back into the present moment and reminds you that, like, you only live once, and the moment that you're in is the moment you have. So like make the best of it. Don't
That's
worry
right.
about everything else. And so yeah, I do sort of use that a little bit in the coffin. I think sometimes just breathe and scan my body and
Yeah.
make sure everything's good.
There was an article that just came out that spoke to, some of the more quiet times in between your Broadway shows, and you here it's called Task Rabbit. Is that not what the app is called out there?
Yeah,
It
it
is,
is. Yeah,
right?
Task Rabbit.
So
Yeah.
you're crafty. You can build things. You put things together.
Yeah, yeah, I'm very, very good at, I was the first person any friends would call if they got an IKEA furniture, I'm really good with putting that stuff together. And yeah, I would task rabbit, I would help people move, things like that. It was just like an easy, like you can make your own schedule. And
Yeah.
you
What
know,
other special skills do you have?
I mean, I don't know, I can play guitar. That's about it. I'm good at hiking.
Oh, I now live in Northern California, so the
Oh,
hiking is
wow. Oh,
major, my friend. Yeah.
that's amazing. That must
Yeah.
be so beautiful.
It really is. That's another thing I read about you. I've read a lot about you in these last couple days. That the schedule of the 8 shows a week, that's one of the, at around the dinner table, we say, what is your rose? What is your thorn? And the thorn of Broadway is the schedule's just brutal, everybody. So,
Yeah.
and you are a nature guy, so you must be missing some of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I really do. Especially, as I'm getting older, and I don't need the speed of the city to keep me entertained. I
Mm,
think, wow, it'd be really nice to drive a car to a grocery store and just fill it with groceries
it is.
and
Can
drive
I
it
tell
home.
you?
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah.
Not go, oh, I can't carry this gallon of milk home
Yeah,
and carry that up
yeah.
5 flights of stairs. I'm getting the quart of milk.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, or just like, yeah, to drink a cup of coffee on a front porch and look at a little lawn and things like that. I start to crave those kind of things, and yeah, it's hard to get that when you only have one day off a week. I mean,
Yeah.
I can drive upstate and do something, but then I don't get to do my laundry.
Right, exactly. Are you finding that you have the energy on your day off to be a functioning human, or is this show knocking you out?
I mean, right now, no, I think because of all the extracurriculars with,
Right.
the award season and all that. I mean, it is crazy. I've
Isn't
never,
it wild when you're doing a show and then doing
yeah,
this schedule, award season? It's
yeah, my
madness, right?
goodness. I mean, I find myself, in my dressing room after a half hour, 15 minutes before the curtain, still answering emails and dealing with schedules. And I'm like, Andrew, you got to put this down. You got to like, the
Focus.
play is the thing, as they
Yeah.
say. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta, and I was thinking about that too, because my friend, Kimberly Bellflower we both came to New York City together about 15 years ago. She was around and she's now nominated for her play. John Proctor is the villain. She wrote John Proctor's
Oh,
villain.
Oh, wow, yeah.
genius,
That was wonderful
genius.
too.
Yes. But she was texting me and she was like, remember when we were innocent little kids a month ago and thought we'd be able to get like a lunch together during this time and we haven't. And she was just talking about how hard it is. And I was struck by like, well, you're the writer. I at least have an escape. Like the show is kind of a reprieve for me right now. Like I've been saying, I actually look forward to 2 show days because
Mm,
nobody can bother me about any sort of press event or anything like that. I'm just like
yeah.
I just go in and do the show. So and like writers, don't have that. So
No, that's how I feel about airplanes. Anytime I'm on
yeah.
an airplane, of course say a prayer, right? Because it's scary. But anyway, I
Mhm.
go, ooh, I literally have 6 or 7 hours where nobody's
Airplane
expecting
mode.
anything. That's right. I didn't
That's a
get your
great outlook.
email. I
There you
can't,
go.
I can't text you back. Yeah, you're just in your little cave in the
Mhm.
30,000 feet in the air. You
Yeah.
can't reach me. I like it.
Well, and we're so conditioned now. I mean, we never put our phones down ever.
Yeah.
Every morning I hike in the woods and I mute the phone and I go in and I'm like, I don't look. Anything that can't wait an hour,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
out of my control. But that's the only time that my phone is not on and next to me. And that's terrible.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's
Terrible.
true. If you don't get back to somebody in an hour, at least
Yeah.
in the city, they are going to say, hey,
But what the
lovingly,
hell?
right? No pressure, but lovingly. Hey, did you get my text or can you call me back?
Well, but let's be fair. So I'm in Boston and Steph's in California, and I test. I mean, I start at like 8 a.m. Boston time. And I'm like, hey, Steph. And she's
It's
like,
5 o'clock in the
could you
With
wait?
morning.
five,
Could you
yeah.
wait
It's
till
not
noon your time?
nice.
Do you
Yeah,
mind?
it's not nice.
Sorry.
It's not
I'm
nice.
terrible.
War Horse, which for me is one of truly, it's like a marker in my theater going memory.
Mm.
I did see it in London and it was stellar. And I was the only one because I've since learned British audiences are not as loud and effusive as American audiences. But I was
Mm.
like, "Ooh!" I stood right to my feet and I was screaming and cheering. And I looked around, I was like, what's wrong with you people? And then saw it again at Lincoln Center. And the art form and the physicality of the puppeteers. And again, I was wrecked, like how that piece spoke to humanity through a horse puppet with, I don't know, was there 4 to 6 actors underneath the horse
Uh,
to
three, only three.
just three?
Yeah.
God bless them. God bless
Yeah.
them. But that too was another piece where I was like, this is really wild. It's special. You've been a
Hmm.
part of some special,
Mm.
like they're not outliers because they are well acclaimed and they're, well attended and they're in major theaters, but they're
Hmm.
not your, how do you say? I'm using air quotes, everybody listening. They're not the run of the mill musical. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, look, there have been times when I've gone in for your big commercial musical and auditioned for it, and from the very beginning, even working on the audition, I'll feel like this just doesn't quite sit with me. And I think that kind of shows in an audition, because then I'll
Mm.
go into the audition and I'll be super nervous, or I'll have no sort of specific point of view or choices to show to people, and then I just leave feeling sort of empty and less than. But
Mhm.
then with something like Warhorse, for example, I mean, what it was just such an incredible opportunity. I had never sort of taken in Lincoln Center before, and I went to that audition because I was pretty young. I was like my mid 20s. Sort of I hadn't been in the city that long, and I went down into that place, and I was like, gosh, this is like feels like such a mecca of art
Mm-hmm.
in here, and I just really dug in. I think I still had a little bit of my fearlessness from college, like hanging in me. Like I was just like raw and open, used to being in a classroom with just 10 other students, all like bearing our souls together. And I still had that. And I'm so proud of that accomplishment, especially because I was a musical theater kid. I am a musical theater kid. I went to Boston Conservatory for musical theater, and I was in there auditioning up against all these Juilliard kids from right across the street from Lincoln Center. It was like a bunch of play actors, and I was like, well, this is going to be a tough one for me, but I gave it my best, and yeah, and it worked. And from then, I think I was lucky to get really cool jobs at first, like Spring Awakening and Warhorse. And then I joined in with this British theater company, Knee High, for a while because they were doing Brief Encounter on Broadway. That's like a whole nother story, but they were doing Brief Encounter on Broadway. I auditioned for that, didn't get the part, but the British director was like, I just love you, and I think you should come play the lead in my West End musical that I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
right. Casual. She was well, and because she was like Knee High Theater Company is sort of a grassroots theater company in the UK, which they have a lot of successful ones over there because the country is small enough to tour. The theaters are small enough to support, small theater
And
companies.
I think they have a Ministry of the Arts, so they're
Yes,
subsidized by their
yes,
government.
yeah. So, but that led me in that was sort of like a grad school in a way of like I spent 4 or 5 years just making shows with them in Cornwall, England, and then we'd bring them back here and do them at St. Anne's Warehouse or Guthrie or Berkeley Rep, and like so then I sort of developed a taste for
How
that
old
kind
were
of
you when you were doing that?
that was I think that was like after Warhorse,
Okay.
that stuff. I sort of ran away with the circus, it felt like, for like 4 years or something. I was doing this with them.
What a great training ground. I mean,
It was. I mean, it was like company-based theater. We were running along the cliffs of Cornwall singing sea shanties and then stopping and doing like body weight sharing artsy exercises and like
so dreamy.
yeah, and they'd be like, all right, the three of you, we need a scene where this happens. We just go off into the field and like kind of make something and come back and we'll all do show and tell and we would all eat meals together. It was incredible.
Yeah, sounds
Um,
perfect.
yeah,
Are you close with all the people?
yeah. I mean, yes, the theater company has since disbanded, and they're all sort of Emma Rice now. She has her own theater company called Wise Children. They still bring shows over to St. Anne's Warehouse or Berkeley Rep and things. I'm still in touch with a lot of them, yes, but I'm not making theater with them as much anymore. But that is where I sort of I think developed my taste for just artful theater, and I just love theater because you talk about Warhorse, and when I'm talking about Knee High, I think about it always involved like puppetry and music and acting and costumes and design. It's just such. I think theater is the best collection of artists that exists in any art form. Like the amount of collaborators it takes to make a really cool show, I think is more than takes any other art form,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which I love.
I want to speak on one other thing that I saw a connection between Spring Awakening and Dead Outlaw in the sense that you are fully this character. You are fully in it, living in it, and then scenes would break or a bridge would be gapped by grabbing a handheld mic, right? Both Spring Awakening uses that device and Dead Outlaw. Um, how do you feel it either helps or disrupts, the storytelling? Do you love it? Do you feel like you are a rock star when you're doing it? How do you keep that characterization when all of a sudden it's 1907
Yeah.
and you are grabbing a handheld mic and like being this, disgruntled, disorderly, drunken guy like you're a freaking rock star?
Yeah. It's funny. I never like tripped over it at all. It's sort of, I think it lends to this, to the style of the way the show was originally conceived, which was David Yazbek and Eric Della Penna sort of, writing these songs and performing them with their rock band at different venues around the city. And they had sort of written a loose narrative, and Yazbek would just spitball between the songs, be like, and then this happened to Elmer, and so we wrote this song about it. So I think maybe that still lives in it a little bit, but I mean, for me, it's a great device to just go even further into the character and what's going on in the show. It's like, I think I use it as an extension of the storytelling, and just, I mean, I love it. I love that
I
number,
can tell that you love
that
it.
Kill
I
the
can
Man
tell.
number is so fun. And like, I'm so nice to everybody on the subway or in New York, because I just like get all my rage out in that number. And it's like so blissful everywhere else in my life. But like, yeah, it's like the songs, I think, and the same in Spring Awakening. It's that old cliche thing of like, well, a character sings a song when they can't speak anymore.
Right, right.
But I think that like we really capture that in Dead Outlaw, as they did in Spring Awakening. It's just like this energy that is bubbling and bubbling, and then the way it bursts is to whip out a microphone and just give you what is happening, and get the character's aggression, or filter the character's feelings through this device of a song, and then we can just like go back into the play.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think Dead Outlaw does it so well, because I feel like it is a hybrid of a play and a rock concert and a musical.
It is.
It's like you're watching all three at once.
Is that David's band? Who are those players? Because there is such a cohesiveness.
Yeah.
Did they play together for years, or is this them just coming together for Dead Outlaw?
Yeah, they just came together for Dead Outlaw. I mean,
Wow.
when we did it off Broadway, Eric Della Penna, who co-wrote the show with Yazbek, played one of the band members.
Okay.
But he's like a rock musician. He has several other bands. He, when the music director would come up to him and say, "Hey, beat 4 of measure 127 in this song, you were a little late," he's like, I can't do
Yeah, 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 yeah. Those two worlds, they musical theater world and rock band gigging world, those two don't blend real well together. Honey,
And for the musicians, you have to like create a book, right? So that
correct.
somebody can come in and play exactly what you're playing in the show when you have
Yes.
to take some shows off or things like that. But I mean, I think because the music is so cool, most of our band are people who have not played musicals before, but they were interested in it, and we're like, all right, this music is really cool, and I still feel like I'm in a band because I'm on stage performing for an audience, and they are part of the story. I use them all the time as my scene partners. They are members of
It's
the
really
gang,
beautiful.
all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Like, so I think they're having the time of their lives because they're like on Broadway.
But they feel like
Yeah.
well, that's the word. They're playing as if they're feeling the music, right? They're not
Mm.
just playing the notes on the page. So I'm wondering if it developed itself more out of a jam session and then the notes came later, but it was
Well,
so wild to watch.
and I got to say, the drummer, I don't know his name, but he's
Spencer.
Oh,
having
joy,
a blast.
joy.
He's laughing through the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
getting the biggest kick out of you and everyone else on that stage. I kept watching him because he was having the time of his life back there. And I thought,
Yes.
this band is having a ball. And it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and I rely on them fully. Like that Kill Demand number requires so much energy and
Ugh.
explosiveness, and like to do that 8 times a week, I'm exhausted sometimes. But I turn around and he's got that smiling face, and he'll be like, "Go on, man! Like you tell him." Like they rile me up, and I'm like, "All right, well, let's go, let's do it." It's just like I love it. It's so much fun.
Oh,
Uh,
that's
you're
awesome.
extraordinary in the show. The piece is, you all do have to see it. It's hard to
Yeah.
explain. You've got to live it. You
Mhm.
walk in, you feel the tone, you think you know exactly what the tone's going to be. But much like we discussed, it's like driving stick shift. Like you are in one gear, and then all of a sudden you're in another
It
gear.
skips second gear and you're right
All
in
right.
third, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really
It's,
fun.
I felt cooler. Let me just tell you this. I felt so cool when I left that theater. So if you need a
Yeah.
little like pump up in your vibe, go see Dead Outlaw.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with the 5 questions.
Imagine you're a business owner relying on a dozen different software programs. Each one is expensive, overly complicated, and worst of all, none of them are connected. It can be incredibly stressful, right? Now, picture Odoo. CRM, accounting, inventory, manufacturing, marketing, HR, and more. Odoo brings all the tools your business needs into one simple platform, and all seamlessly connected. Everything works together, giving you the peace of mind that your business is running smoothly from every angle. Odoo's open source applications are user-friendly and designed to scale with your business, saving you time and money. Say goodbye to juggling multiple platforms and hello to efficient integrated management. Stop wasting resources on complicated systems and make the switch to Odoo today. Visit odoo.com, ODOO.com, and discover how Odoo can simplify and streamline your business operations. Odoo, modern management made simple.
If you could wake up tomorrow with a superpower, worldly or otherworldly, what would it be?
Teleportation.
Ooh.
Good one.
Then you can
But
go
my
hiking
clothes would
anywhere
have
you
to
want.
teleport with me. I'm not going like
Yeah,
naked anywhere.
don't do, what's that called? The something's wife, the traveler's wife. Remember the one that would teleport
Oh,
and then he'd be naked
they'd be
everywhere?
naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the point of that?
Where would you
You
go?
never
Would you
use it
go?
because you'd be embarrassed.
Would you go back? Would you go forward? Where would you
Oh, I mean, oh, it's interesting. I guess like no, not time travel, just teleportation. Like if
go?
I
Okay.
wanted to go hang out on a beach in Hawaii right now, just like do it.
Yes.
Because I live in a
Yes.
really old home. My home's from like the 1600s. And my husband and I
Whoa.
say almost every day, don't you wish you could just stand here and right now, just 100 years ago, what was it like? What did the house look like?
Oof.
Who was here? I think it every day almost. Okay. If we could walk into your closet, tell us one item, clothing or anything else that you would never get rid of because of the sentimental value it holds.
Oh, wow. Um, well, my mom passed away about 10 years ago, and I went to her house and cleared out some things, and I have this like hoodie that she was wearing in one of the last pictures that I have of her. And so I kept that. And it takes up some space. And in a New York City closet, there's not a lot of space, but I have that and I think I'll keep hold of that.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Okay, we call your sister. We tell her that you have been arrested. What has she assumed you've done to put yourself in jail?
Oh my gosh.
Robbed a bank?
Yeah, right.
Not well.
Let's see, what have I done? I don't know, probably like something to do with a car. I'm a pretty intense driver. I don't know. I'm speeding, like going way too fast. I know they don't put you in jail for that, but maybe like my 7th time
Okay.
speeding. Yeah,
Okay.
let's say that.
All right. Tell me, what is your favorite sandwich?
BLT with mayo.
On white, on wheat, on rye?
White. We're going white.
Toasted?
Okay.
Or soft?
Toasted. Absolutely. Yeah.
Specific tomatoes, Roma on the vine, beefsteak.
Just like good, really bright red,
Yeah.
tangy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do mayo or Miracle Whip?
No.
Mayo. I would
You
do
know
male
what?
Dukes. I really like Dukes. You had that?
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Does Lenwich have that sandwich? That doesn't exist there, does it? You have to
I
order it
don't
specifically.
know. And like bacon varies so much place to place. You know, one deli has great bacon, the other deli,
I
you know,
know. And then the other
like
deli only smells like bacon and you can't even stand in there. You're like, oh
yeah,
my God, too much
yeah.
meat. Okay. Last one. We ask every single person this question. So get ready. If you were a nail polish color, what would it be?
Oh,
And what's the cheeky little name of that nail polish?
oh my gosh. Um, I want to say I want to go for like a green, like almost like a foresty green, I think.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah, I can see it. I like it. And I think it would be called Green Without Envy.
Oh, did they tell
Hey,
you in
oops.
advance we were going to ask that question, or did that
No,
oh, good
that
for
just
you.
came.
That's very impressive.
That's very cheeky and cute. Green
Thank
without
you.
envy.
It'll be on the shelves tomorrow.
You win. You win. Thank
Oh,
you for your
Andrew, we
time.
wish you the best, just the
Oh,
very best. It's exhausting, but enjoy this incredible time in your life. And it's so well deserved. You are brilliant in the
tremendous.
show. The show
Yeah.
itself is just over the
Yeah.
top,
It's tremendous.
joyful, wonderful. What a great night out. And how excited, I'm
Thank you.
excited for you.
Hmm.
Thank you. It means so much coming from both of you. I really have enjoyed this chat. It was really fun.
Oh, good.
And everybody watch the Tonys, June 8th.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Be
so
well.
much. Coming up next, what struck a chord?
Smart, smart, smart.
Lovely human.
I know. I know. I can.
So what other shows did you see were in the city?
Okay. I got to see Oh
Oh my
Mary.
God.
Oh my
Ridiculous.
God. Honey, it's
Right?
okay. This is one where you're laughing and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm laughing at this.
I
Much like
know.
Dead Outlaw,
I
but not
know.
like much like Dead Outlaw. But you're going,
I
this
know.
comedy, don't
I know.
even know how to define what Cole is doing. It's so incredibly unique.
It's so
They are able to,
stupid in all the
it's
best
so
ways.
stupid and
So
wonderful.
stupid.
And the amount of facial expressions, body gestures, flopping on the ground, over the top drama, and yet it's all perfect and the tone is just right. The story is
Yeah.
out of control,
Yep.
ridiculous,
So stupid.
and what a fun night of theater.
So
I
fun.
mean, incredible.
Yeah, I
And
know.
just when you think they've reached the top, then there's a mega mix at the end that you cannot
I don't
believe.
want to say what, I mean, I'm telling you, I we've said this before, but I really want to meet them. I mean,
Yes.
they are just hilarious. There is no mind like theirs that you've ever
No,
seen
no.
anywhere before. Oh, well, as we said, I think in the last episode, I want them to win because I want to hear that speech.
I know. I
But
know.
okay, so what
I
else?
know.
So, Oh Mary,
Okay. Okay.
fabulous.
Oh, Mary,
This whole
Dead
season has the
Outlaw.
coolest, quirkiest shows, and
I
it's
know.
making me really happy.
And then the picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh, I heard that was amazing.
Sensational. Look, to take the book and write it in a way that one human could tell the story, that in and of itself is a feat.
Yeah.
Sarah's remarkable. Um,
Yeah, I heard she's
Literally
stunning.
just able to wrap your mouth around that flowery look. I can't even say flowery language, different accents, different point of views, knowing how to handle camera work as well as a live audience, quick changes happening on stage. It's epic. She's fucking
I
amazing.
heard she was
Yeah,
phenomenal.
and I was very lucky. Management came and said, "Hey, would you like to come backstage and say
Oh,
hello?" And I said, "It was Saturday. Oh, no, pardon me, it was a Sunday matinee." And I said, "Tell her she's unbelievable, and I know she's a mom and she needs to get home, and the last thing I would want to do is take 10 more minutes of her time. Like, just gush all over her and tell her to go home and rest because it really
wow.
is a mammoth." And from my understanding, they did it in Australia in
Yes, they did.
2019, and then they did it in London, and now
Yep.
here. So she's been a part of that project for
For a
so
long time.
long.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to go see Good Night and Good Luck.
Yeah, tell me.
Wow. Well, I got to go with LaChance because she had her Tony ticket, so we went.
Okay.
And it was similar. We're sitting in the chair and the lights are about to go down, and they come running down. They're like, Ms. LaChance, Mr. Clooney would like to see you backstage. Are you available? And she turns to me, she's like, do you want to go meet George? I'm like, sure. So I got to go backstage and meet George. But the show was I never saw the movie.
Okay,
Okay.
I have.
So
Yes.
I knew what it was about, obviously, but I didn't know, I was so shocked at how moved I was at the end. The
Mm.
ending is stunning. And they show this image, which I won't say what it is, and then it's just lights out, and you hear the whole audience go like
Oh,
that.
I love when
Oh
shows
God.
punctuate the end like
It's
that.
on, it's going to be live. Uh,
CNN, right?
yeah, I think the
Yeah.
night before the Tonys. I'll find out and I'll put the link in, but boy, definitely, if you have not seen that show, even if you have seen that show, watch the live version. It's such an important show for our time.
Oh, great
And
to
it was
hear.
well done.
So was the picture of Dorian Gray. Again, the social commentary about
Mhm. Aging, women
social
aging.
media, social media and how we change the image and how the look of
Um,
us is more important than the feel of us and how
mm,
the outside, it doesn't matter how gross you are on the inside and the diabolical things that you do, as long as you're perceived as this beautiful image, how much can you get away
how long
with?
is that running? I need
Ugh.
to go see that.
I think it's not long. I think it's just a week or two after the Tonys,
There are so
maybe
many
the end of
shows I still
June.
want to see. I'm so bummed. What else
I
did you see?
know. That was it. I mean, because then I was working, doing PR for Kiss Me Kate, which we're recording this on May the 30th. So that airs tonight. So by the time this comes out, hopefully people will have watched it. And maybe, who knows, it might be streaming on PBS. So take a peek. It's definitely there.
I'll put a link on.
And yeah, I did a reading of a new musical by Douglas Carter Bean and the music by Douglas Cohen. And that was super fun to be in a room with Santino Fontana and Will Swenson and Jackie Hoffman. It just was like one Broadway name after another. Nikki Renee Daniels. It was very, very fun to be in a room and just very quickly create something, right? You
Yeah,
only got 2 days to come together and make it happen. And
yeah.
yeah, it felt like a reality show, but in the best sense. I felt very creative.
It's so fun.
And then, yeah, we gathered with the Falsettos cast got together
Oh.
and we sang, those people, those people will always hold such a special place because they just represent a moment in my life where it was just beautiful and full and important, and I loved them like family. And similar, it seems, to what Andrew was saying. You go to work, you enjoy each other, you want to stay at the theater afterwards and kind of decompress and have drinks with them. But also at home, Seb was a wonderful, well, he still is, but a wonderful partner and father. And Vivi was just 16 months and delicious and hilarious. And my
Mm,
life was just full in that time. And I got to kind of immediately jump back into that delightful feeling, even though I
mhm.
was almost 10 years older. We all just reconnected in a way that was so organic and real. And I loved it. I just loved it.
I know. I love that show. I loved that show. It
Me
was a
too,
really
forever
special
and
show.
ever. So we got to do something to get this reunion happening. So we're going to put our heads together. We're going to make a few calls and see at the 10-year anniversary, which would be spring of 2026,
Oh, great.
to make that
How
happen.
fun.
I know, I know, I
Oh.
know. Okay,
All right, well, this was awesome. I'm
it really
excited for the
was.
Tonys.
Me
I
too.
wish we lived closer so we could have a Tony party and hang out and
Oh, come on.
eat pizza and watch the Tonys.
And say all the things, express all the feelings, cry the tears, throw things at the TV. Yes, all of it. As they say, it's our Super Bowl, baby. It's our Super
Fun.
Bowl. Well, I love you,
I love you
and
too.
we'll see how it all unfolds next week at the
Yay.
Tonys. All right. Big
Bye.
love. Bye.
Stages podcast is produced by Mary Lee Fairbanks and Stephanie J. Block. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Join us on social media pages or sign up for the mailing list at stagespodcast.net. That is also where you will find Stages swag. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share and rate and review the show. It really helps us grow. Big thank you to Noah Kaiserman and Garrett Healy for the original music, and Allison Arns, who has been with us since day one. See you soon.